Hello and welcome to your Believing Hard podcast for January 18th, 2023. This week I'll be discussing unions. Again, the Microsoft Activision Acquisition, Ubisoft Strikes, this new little and unknown indie game, Vampire Survivors, and Star Wars The Bad Batch. I'm your host, Mario 8th. You can find me across the internet, all at Mario 8th. Right now I'm on Tumblr in co-host or still on Twitter. If you want to see the games I'm playing as I'm playing them, check out ggapp.io. If you want to see the YouTube videos I'm making or the YouTube version of this podcast, go to youtube.com/@Mario8th, or the audio version of this podcast is on anchor.fm/Mario8th. Links to all my socials and every article I'll be discussing, as always, will be in the show notes. First up, I'm sick of live service games. I need 100% less live service games. If you even mention live service, I'm checking out. Battle Pass? More like, no thanks, I'll pass. Yeah, that was bad. Not much to say actually, but it's looking like that new Suicide Squad game is gonna be live servicey. Recently, an image was posted on Twitter that looked like a pretty decent leak of what some of the UI is going to look like for the game. I really didn't have that much faith in it in the first place, but if this leak is correct, I've fully checked out. Again, I don't even really play any live service games. I guess the closest is Mario Kart Tour, but in my mind, when it's on a mobile device, it's a little bit different. MMOs are also different. I'm not angry at Final Fantasy XIV or RuneScape or World of Warcraft for doing this stuff. But just your regular old average story adventure game, get live service, get the hell out of here. I'm so tired of it. I don't think Halo needed it. I'm never going to play Destiny because of it. I'm never going to play The Division because of it. It's just so, honestly, some of those games I wasn't going to play anyway. And I probably wasn't going to play the Suicide Squad anyway. But I just really don't like this model of funding video games. It's just gross to me. I don't like the miss it and then pay money so you can get everything to it. Fortnite, nah, get out of here. I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's a bummer that the video game market has fully gone this way. I think Sony has like 12 of them. 12 live service games currently in development. I'm going to hopefully play none of them because I just don't like that style of game. Especially because once you start getting too many, none of them are ever going to find their audience. You only have so much time. People only have so much time to play games. And if, for instance, someone started Destiny, and they're putting all their time in Destiny, and then Sony puts out 12 other live service games that require your attention every single day, every single week, every single month, well, some people just aren't going to do it. They've already picked theirs, or they're like me, they don't like that style of game, and it's just not going to work out. But it's the current get-rich-quick scheme in the video game market, and that's a bit of a bummer. Up next, rocky seas are ahead for Microsoft and Activision. On the heels of the FTC suing them over their upcoming acquisition, it's now looking like the European Commission is planning on putting an objection to the acquisition from going through as well. Not too much to say about this one either. This Activision Microsoft story has been really interesting so far. Personally, I think I'm okay with it going through. I hate the consolidation of all these different industries, but Activision was clearly not being handled well. And we'll get to other places not being handled well in just a second, but Activision was clearly not being handled well, so I think a shift in management to what Microsoft has been doing is going to be a good thing. Or specifically Xbox is going to be a good thing, but I'm also really happy that there's so much attention being finally put into blocking these big acquisitions. Should have happened decades ago, but at least it's happening now. And honestly, I would say the next step is, yes, we should let the Microsoft Activision acquisition go through, and then the government should step in and say Microsoft cannot make video games. They need to spin Xbox off into its own individual company, because I think Microsoft holds too much power as it is, and so they should just yank Xbox out, make it their own thing. There were rumors that Microsoft was going to do that themselves a few years ago. That's obviously not happening anymore. I think the government should make it happen. And then they should also go through to Facebook and Amazon and Google and rip out chunks of them so they're not monopolies controlling every aspect of our lives. Apple too, all the big ones. But hey, what am I going to do? I'm just a radical recording a podcast in their room. Anyway, speaking of companies not being ran well, Ubisoft doesn't seem to be doing so great. They recently cancelled 3 unannounced games, delayed Skull and Bones again, and announced the next Assassin's Creed game is going to be much smaller. And everyone's favorite CEO Yves Guillemot has decided to place blame on the workers, of course. It couldn't be management decisions. They get paid far too much to be wrong. So he's asked his underpaid employees to just work harder for all intents and purposes. But this is taking place in Paris, and overseas workers have significantly more rights than their US counterparts, and so the workers are pushing back. Those of the Solidaires Informatique, excuse my pronunciation, are saying Guillemot's comments are shifting the blame onto them, adding that compensation hasn't matched inflation, that everyone should be switching to the more optimal 4-day work week, and that Ubisoft still has abusive management. And to push this, they're calling for a strike Friday, January 27th, and I stand in solidarity with all the affected workers. Obviously, I wish the US had much better union laws in place. I wish they had more unions across all industries, including the video games industry. And then I wish everyone had more protections and more rights and better work conditions and better pay, and that CEOs made less. And at least there are some parts of the world that are able to push against it. And I pulled this one quote because I thought it was great. This is from the union Solidaires Informatique, and I quote, "Because Mr. Guillemot and his clique only understand the relationship of power, Solidaires Informatique is calling on the employees of Ubisoft Paris to go on strike." This is calling into the way that Yves Guillemot manages. There's been stories, I didn't pull any of them up, but I'm pretty sure he's one of those bad CEOs. Of course, are there any really good CEOs? No, but he's had some allegations thrown his way. He definitely runs a ship that has a lot of crunch, and all the managerial styles push it back onto the workers, as his quote from earlier pointed out. And I hope this strike goes through. I hope this strike goes through well. I hope the workers get what they're requesting for, and I hope Ubisoft management has to pay for running crunch culture and running a bad workplace environment. Lastly, speaking of employees that probably should have unionized if it weren't for the USA's outlook on unions, Unity plans to lay off 284 people. This is just a bit after Unity merged with Iron Source, the developers behind the software that Microsoft considers malware, and after even more layoffs earlier in 2022, I think in June or July. So Unity doesn't seem to be doing all that great either. I personally am never going to try to use Unity as best I can. Obviously, some of the games I'm going to play are going to be built in Unity. But personally, if I ever want to do my own game projects, I have Unity installed on my computer. I'm going to uninstall it pretty darn soon because I don't want to support that. They merged with a malware company. They're getting really big into crypto, I want to say. And they're also just laying off a bunch of people now. And it's a bummer. I hope everyone is able to land on their feet. Look at the bright side, they don't have to work for Unity anymore, which is not that much of a bright side. People are losing their livelihoods. I shouldn't joke about it. It's a bummer. And that is it for news. Let's move on to what I've been doing. First up, I need a new computer. I need a new computer badly. Now, if you don't look at my YouTube channel all that often, I've got a series, Super Mario in Review, where I'm reviewing and ranking all 18 Super Mario Bros. Games. I have finished all the videos for all 18 games, but I've got one left where I merged the 2D list and the 3D list together. And editing this video has been a pain in my butt. There are certain actions that, on a good day, would take 1 second. And they are taking minutes and minutes and minutes to do currently on my computer. I think it's a memory issue. I just don't have enough memory. Last night I went through and I moved all my old archival video projects onto a hard drive to clear up some space. I uninstalled some things, anything to try to get my computer working a little bit faster. I haven't tried it just yet. I'm recording this podcast instead, but really, it's just been so slow, and it's really pushed to the forefront of my mind that I need a new computer. I'm pretty sure I bought this computer that I'm currently on as a pre-build in February of 2017, meaning and it wasn't the most up-to-date computer when I bought it, so I am definitely due for a refresher. Oh my gosh, this computer is 6 years old. Goodness gracious. But the problem is, I'm petrified of actually building a computer. All the different parts and the numbers of the parts and how the things are supposed to stick together. My brain doesn't work that well when it comes to that. I just have a really hard time conceptualizing how all these different weird parts are supposed to stick together. I know a couple things. I know I kind of want to get like the 4090. I think that's the 4090. That's the new graphics card. I want to get 8 gigs of RAM, I think. I want a terabyte or 2 of internal SSD memory. But that's not it. There's a lot of other stuff I'm going to need to figure out. And I'm really scared about it. But that's got to be my next big project once I push through and finish Mario in review. And then hopefully I will have a new computer if I can get it together real quickly. Hopefully I'll have a new one by the time I need to start editing other videos. I also want a new card because eventually I do want to start getting into game dev. I'm a software developer by trade. That's my day job. But I think I finally gotten the drive. I want to eventually, one day, maybe, work in the games industry. And to do that, I'm going to have to start maybe not making games, but making prototypes, get some experience in the field. And I want to do that, but I no longer trust my computer to be able to physically do it. So all signs are pointing to I need to get a new computer. But while I'm waiting to get a new computer, I have been playing, well, really mainly one game. This new little indie game called Vampire Survivors. You ever heard about that one? You ever heard about it? So Vampire Survivors came out on PC, early access, and then eventually released all last year. It was like $2 at first, now it's $5 plus a $2 DLC or something like that. But because it was a PC-only release, I don't have a Steam Deck or anything, and it's not on Switch, I never got it. I heard fantastic things about it, I just never got around to getting it. But then they put it out on mobile for free. And it's like, it's free. I may as well try downloading it. And I don't know if I get it yet. I don't know if I quite get it, but I am having a really good time with it. Now, I do wish I could have either the WASDs or a joystick or a thumb or a D-pad to control the character with. I definitely recognize myself hating moving around with my thumb on a screen. But once I get past that, which I have been, it's a pretty fun game. It's interesting. If you haven't heard the conceit of Vampire Survivors, you control a little person on a screen, and waves of monsters come at them, and they attack on an automatic cycle, depending on what their weapon is. So, for instance, the first person has a whip, and the whip shoots out in the direction the character is facing, once every couple seconds or so, and that whip can kill one of the monsters coming at you. And then as you kill more monsters, you can get more weapons, get more upgrades for the weapons you already have to make them shoot out more stuff, or make them shoot out quicker, or make them do more damage, and so you can kill more guys and get more upgrades, and then hopefully survive for the maximum of 30 minutes. And then it's a roguelite where you can go back to the start screen, buy some permanent upgrades, and then jump back in for another run. And it's a pretty good gameplay loop. I've been playing a few runs a day. It's not my favorite so far, but I'm enjoying it enough. And also the completionist in me sees the amount of trophies there are, or achievements. And I think, well, I may as well get all of them. That's just who I am. I kind of have to complete it now. I've started playing it, and I'm not having a bad time playing it either. There are moments where it feels great that you're just wiping out everyone in town. And then there are moments where, I'm wiping out everyone in town, and I'm kind of bored. Like, I have no more goals to do in this run, I just need to wait out the 30-minute timer, and that gets a little boring. I guess it could be therapeutic, but it's random almost when I get into states like that, so I can't count on every run being therapeutic. And it doesn't take any skill by that point either, so I can't prep for it, and it's hard to enjoy when I get there, because I would want to just zone out and listen to a podcast when I'm doing that, but I'm listening to the game music right now, because I thought I was playing a game up until this point, and I guess I could pause and mute the music, but either way, all thoughts, I'm going to keep playing this game. It's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it enough. Vampire Survivors, good game. I can't strongly say it was snubbed by the Game Awards yet, but I definitely agree that all the other people who were saying it got snubbed by the Game Awards, that they think it was snubbed by the Game Awards, so maybe I'll get there eventually. And maybe I'd like it more if I was playing it on my computer. Who knows? It's pretty good though. I'm liking it. Lastly, I won't talk about it too much, but I'm a big Star Wars fan, unfortunately. Andor was fantastic, and now The Bad Batch is coming back. Has come back. 3 episodes are out now. 4 by the time this uploads, and it's real good so far. I'm enjoying it. I'm also listening to A More Civilized Age, a Star Wars: The Clone Wars rewatch podcast, and they're in season 5 right now, or maybe 6. They're in season 6 right now, and even from season 6 to Bad Batch, where they have the same art style but in so much better rendering techniques. It's truly jaw-dropping sometimes how good the Bad Batch looks. And as far as the storylines go, I'm really liking it so far. I like all the characters. I like the stories they're doing so far. Again, we're so early on. I really like the look of this really early empire that they're portraying, and I'm excited to see them explore this space more. So excited that I did buy the Lego set. I've got a little Lego Cad Bane looking at me. Did I buy the Lego set so I could have a Lego Cad Bane? Did I spend $170 on a Lego set so I could have a little Lego Cad Bane minifigure? I'm not answering that question. And that'll be it for the Believing Heart podcast. I hope you enjoyed. If you would like to, you can leave a rating wherever you can leave ratings for podcasts. You can do it on YouTube, leave a thumbs up, or maybe leave a comment there. I've heard iTunes ratings help if you're listening on iTunes or you have access to iTunes. Or if not, just subscribe somewhere. Let me know on Tumblr that you liked it. Follow me on co-host and tell me there. And I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.